All right. Yeah, so this one tags on to the other really big proposal we made recently that starts up a new council in the Earth Nation, the Presidential Council. So this measure will make it easier for people to join the Presidential Council and also reduce the amount of profits being distributed to the Presidential Council pool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, radio. It was just all happening so fast, I couldn't absorb it. So
what do you think about this?
Cool. Nice.
What was that?
Sorry, I must have just broken up. I said I just didn't. I just didn't absorb all that. It was just still going a little bit too fast when I just came on. So yeah, now I totally get everything now. So thank you.
Cool.
Cool.
Right. Go to the next one. There's another new one other than the one we talked about the other day. And just give me 1 second, will you? All right. Yeah, so this came to me quite recently, like a handful of days ago, and I was sitting here and just really thinking about how we can inspire more engagement and have a layer of the Earth Nation that's like really easy to participate in and find oneself in. And so I was thinking about making a membership program that allows people to come into a fourth body of the Earth Nation Alliance. And to enter this body, it'd be just really super simple and easy. And what this would allow us to do is people that are like learning about the Earth Nation could actually be able to log in to their own group. They could learn how the systems work. They could give us good ideas. But they wouldn't actually necessarily have a vote in what we're doing, but they would have the ability to vote. And we'd have the ability to see how the general members are voting and what their thoughts and ideas are. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
You can get a bigger consensus of like what everybody is looking towards.
Yeah. And get more people more engaged and involved, because right now, you know, it's a little bit of a hurdle to become a vote holder. Whereas I'm looking to open up a really super simple to entry membership program where people aren't really giving or paying very much at all, just a very, very tiny amount of energy. And now they get to become a member and they get to vote with us. And we'll come up with a handful of other ways to just inspire and engage and give them amazing things in exchange for being a member.
Yeah. Dakota, I have some thoughts around that. Can I share?
Absolutely.
So I really feel like everyone's struggling to engage everywhere, like on Facebook, social media, in their businesses, being accountable, being responsible for who they are and what they're doing. So in that engagement process, in coming on that fourth level, maybe you say if there's a Facebook post or if there's another social media platform that they have to engage on so many times to participate in those levels. So by participating and engaging, then consuming knowledge and then understanding it. So some people say that they're there as vote holders, like, you know, we all get busy being busy, but nobody's reading the posts, nobody's engaging, they're just there because they love the energy and they just want to be a part of a global movement and whatever the case may be. But for them to really, really feel like they're part of a community, they have to engage. If they don't engage and they've given, you know, they have in 1 week, they have to engage 4 times in any form of communication just to see that they're all listening, everybody's watching. And if they're not engaging at those specific times for whatever reason, you can then see that it might be just they're not ready for it yet. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been thinking along similar lines, Kelly. And it's a little bit of a straddle for me because we want to balance encouraging engagement. But I do also want people that only want to be very lightly engaged to be able to be with us and present. People that are like, you know, have just like a lot of influence and a lot of special like placement in the world. I do want to have a space for them to be involved and be a part of it while giving like a pretty fractional amount of time and energy to it. So yeah, I've just been trying to figure out like how can we make it really invitive and exciting and encouraging without making the participatory components too demanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People don't like to be forced to do things. They like to be encouraged to do things.
Right, and inspired. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I've been really thinking about that. And what's come up for me is this other proposal. Let's see what we think about this so far. Let's see. Yeah, active requirements. So my idea was to start making vault holdership, as well as if we do, like when we do make this new membership oriented group, that we have these minimum standards of engagement. And I was thinking that to make this really inclusive, when someone becomes a vault holder or a member, they have a little meeting. And in that meeting, we give them a solutionary session. We see if they have any challenges or problems in their life they'd like help with overcoming. We connect them to resources to overcome those challenges. And then we allow space for them to ask anything they want about the Earth Nation. And then we go through this document and we ask them if they have a particular problem with doing any of these things. And if they do have a particular problem with one of these things, and it seems like a very reasonable and like just a reasonable problem, then they don't have to do it necessarily. But we basically, I just want to walk through and talk to people about these things. And if they agree to doing it in the video, then we will uphold that for them. And if they don't meet their agreements, then they are temporarily made inactive. And I did not actually add in here anything about chat room participation. I'm really open to considering that a little more, Kelly. I know a lot of people don't necessarily do that, but we could still add it on here as an option. And if someone states that that's not in alignment with them, that'll be okay. But I think that's a really good one to add. I'll just run through these.
Yeah.
So first, do you want to say anything right there, Kelly?
Oh, no. I was agreeing with you.
All right, you're just like, yeah, right, great.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so have an account in our DAO voting room. I think that's really important, right? Because if they're not voting, they're totally missing the point. At least if they don't know about how all that works, right? I think it's really important everyone assigns a delegate. A lot of people haven't done the delegate process yet. And during this call that I'm going to hold with each of our vote holders and members, I'm going to show them how to do it. So it'll be a live demo. We'll go through it in real time together. I want to make a test that they have to pass within like a month or two of joining. And I want to also, like, around this is yet to be built out yet, but I do want to build more community around education, more meetings, and see if we can't take another rehash at our academy again, just to really make it more fun. Ideally, we did a good job of getting the information up, but a lot of people are just never end up fully completing our whole academy sequence. So letting people know they have a certain amount of time to do that, and then they'll need to pass a test proving that they actually studied that and have a basic knowledge of what the heck is going on. The solutionary portal experience is what I just described earlier. So I would like that to be a requirement, especially for our vote holders. They should sit down. They should have an understanding of all the solutions we're offering to people. So this agreement is our dispute resolution policy. Or just our standard of agreements and upholdments. So I really want all of our vote holders to sign that, our members too. So we have this little contract with everyone's name on it. If there's ever an issue, we just pull out that contract and say, do you see here where you signed this and it said that? And then I really want a bio from everyone, because a lot of us don't know each other, and it will really facilitate us connecting with each other if we know more about each other. And we can just kind of read through and be like, oh, that's who Dakota is. That's who Kelly is. That's who John is. There's a few of us, like myself, John, Kelly. You also know a lot of our vote holders that know like a lot of people in the Earth Nation. But then new people come in and they don't know anybody. And it's like, who are these guys? And so it'd be great if we could share that with them. And then this is leading into basically building our collective wealth stewardship pool again. I want to pull from all of our vote holders and our members what they have that they would share with a really amazing project unconditionally. and then what they have that they're able to share with an amazing project they align with conditionally. And I want to start creating our pool of accessible assets, resources, time, energy, properties. We were doing a lot of that some time ago, and we kind of backed off on that to be a little more corporate for a while. But I really think we're ready again to start kind of doing our DAO pooling and distribution processes. And so getting that list from everyone is very important to facilitate in that. And then this is a whole little portal thing that I made recently that I am pretty proud of, honestly. I figured out a few ways for people to do what they're already doing in a way that's going to make the Earth Nation money. So there's a search page on our website that's not completed yet. Both these pages actually, I'm doing like a graphic overhaul. They function right now, but we won't be rolling this out for about another 45 days. But in those 45 days, basically, we are going to have our version of Google located at this URL, and people can give us donations by using Google on our website. Instead of going to google.com, they go to earthnation.world/search, and now every time they load the page, every time they search, it gives the Earth Nation a donation. Same thing. Isn't that cool? Super
Yeah,
cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Woo. It's not a little bit of money either. It's like
You're a genius. Have you done
what was
hey?
that? Sorry, go ahead.
No. It got all muffled on when you were talking. Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. A little bit of bandwidth drop. But I was just saying that it's not a little bit of money either. It's like we could be making a couple dollars a month from each member just from them using the search engine. And then we all use Amazon for the most part, at least us Westerners. And now we can just, if we go and we click here and we click the button there and then we purchase from Amazon, Amazon gives us a 3 to 11% donation on the whole cart, which is really cool.
Now?
Right now, that's live. We can do that. Then really learning about our 21 solutions page, which is at the front of our solutionary process, which links people to all these really cool things. And we get a bunch of commission for everything listed there. And I'm basically growing a partnered network of affiliates that are conscious, sustainable, ethical, that offer something that's really super cool at a very competitive rate in the world. And then when people buy through this portal, we get a really nice commission for that. We're also, for people that don't want to make a search engine their homepage, we're making a homepage that's a blog, and we're going to be releasing news distributions about the Earth Nation at the blog. And I'm asking people if they feel comfortable to actually make one of these pages their homepage. So every time a tab pops up, it goes straight there. See. So this hasn't been graphically designed yet. Obviously, it's going to look way better than this, but it functions. And now every time someone makes a new tab or pulls up a new browser, the Earth Nation gets a part of a penny, which stacks up, which is cool.
Nice.
I'm also asking for people to set their name to Voteholder on Facebook, so we can have a little more unity and a little more representation there. You know, either Voteholder, member, or center coordinator or president, as is appropriate. And then making sure the Amazon link for our payment is like set into your bookmarks, so you make sure you use it every time you go to Amazon. And then I can have custom ambassador links made for each person, so every time they go to our site or share our site page, we can track that. We're going to have a little program, so we're awarding people with keys just for sharing the word. And yeah, just sharing the solutions page, Amazon, and search links, and then inviting the network to like our Facebook page. So it's just a handful of things where if people got on board with doing that, it would help the Earth Nation a lot, and it would be pretty effortless for people to do this, and would provide a lot of benefit and a lot of consistent resource flow, a lot of consistent energy and awareness to what we're doing here together. And just like the rest of this, if someone is like, hey, you know, that one right there, I just don't like that. I'm not in alignment with this particular point or with this point. Then we say, oh, great. Well, that's wonderful. And if you feel in alignment with the other points, then please go ahead and do that. And that's kind of my strategy for this. And the final thing is I want to start getting people's text numbers, and I'm going to make an automated text system so that when we release an update on our blog, everybody gets a text with a link to the blog post so they can read about what the heck's going on. And I think this is going to be a lot more efficient than both emails and also than chat room announcements, which the chat room's great, but yeah, having a text, like here's the bi-weekly update and then here's all the really important things that happened, I think is going to really increase our cohesiveness and our communication capacity.
I think so too. Very nice.
I think that's cool. I like it a lot. Yeah. So in saying that, Dakota, you know, when we had our last meeting with a whole heap of people and Prism and all those other guys, yeah, Chase and then we're all on there. I just wanted just to bring up, I really feel that using the corporate words vote, presidential, president, government and money from a really heavy vibration is feeling a little bit incongruent with me, but from an outsider looking on in, I think it's feeling the same for some other people as well. Maybe changing some words from vote to poll or president to guru or some other, you know, high frame, whatever that looks like. Government to like a higher council, money to tokens, or even using equality keys as the form of transferring of digits that we're actually wanting to step into. What are your thoughts about that, John and Dakota?
Yeah, this is something I thought about a lot because it's one of the most kind of controversial aspects of what we've been doing recently.
Yeah.
And so I see the angle that you're sharing right now, Kelly, and I resonate with the perspective of like, what we're doing here is we're building the new paradigm. And in this new paradigm, we are in fact moving away from governments. We're moving away from presidents. We're moving away from money. We're essentially moving towards building a society that doesn't have any of these things anymore and instead has other more higher vibrational frequency aligned aspects of these things. And like you just mentioned, like a high council rather than a president or whatever, etc. Like this is what you just spoke into is definitely where I personally feel like we are going. And then there's this other side to the coin where to get to where we're going and not just do it in a way where we have our own little kind of tiny isolated bubble of the world. For me personally, my objective with all of this has always been to be a shining example of the new paradigm to the traditional paradigm. For quite some time, our main audience has been the new paradigm and people living in the new paradigm, experiencing the new paradigm. But up in this next phase, for me personally, our audience is actually switching to the traditional paradigm, to traditional governments, to traditional presidents, to heads of state, to news channels, to many different aspects and facets of the traditional paradigm. And with that in mind, there's actually a one massive perk of using names that the traditional paradigm also used and uses, because it allows them to relate to us. When we go in and we're like, hi, I'm the guru of the high council member, they're like, what the fuck? Go get out of here. Like there's a whole negative response cycle to those terms and phrases in the world now today in the traditional paradigm. And if I were to introduce myself, like, so let's say for instance, in 2 days time, I am going to this festival and coronation for one of the new kings of Indonesia. I was invited there by King Samu Samu, who recently coronated me as a member of Indonesian royalty. And there's also, I'm going to be speaking with the president of Indonesia. We're working on implementing our waste to energy systems in Indonesia right now. And that's really amazing news. And what helped me become on those terms with one of the kings of Indonesia, with the king of kings, Samu Samu, and what is opening me up to be able to talk to the president of Indonesia, has partially been that I am the president of Earth Nation, or one of the presidents. And when they heard that, they had this response to me as if I were equal to them in a way that they could understand. And if I had told them something else, I don't think they would have understood it as well. This is especially important when dealing with language barriers, when dealing with people where English isn't even their native language. To try to explain to a foreigner a small subset of the English language and what it means can be highly confusing. So there's one really big perk to using these traditional terminologies, and that is quite simply that the traditional world understands what we mean when we say it. Even if our new paradigm people might feel like it's a little heavier, if it's not really what we want as our end goal, for me right now, I'm seeing that it serves our purpose of facilitating being the bridge to bring people into awareness of the new paradigm. And I feel like this is actually more beneficial for us at this time than it would be to use kind of lighter, more fluffier, more new paradigm oriented words that the vast majority of people have no idea what they mean.
Okay, well, thank you for explaining that. That kind of makes a whole heap of sense. And maybe if you could probably maybe do a video and put it out there just to let people know why you're doing what you're doing. I have seen previous videos before, but I don't think you have explained it that way, so people can just have the understanding. Yeah, like I really feel.
What was that, John?
This was recorded, so we just did it.
Sorry.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah, true.
So Kelly, I don't mind also making just a short, very targeted video about it.
I think that's really, really important, Dakota, just for everybody just to have that clear understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, and you know, why you're coming back over into the government space and using all these corporate words that are a little bit incongruent where we're at, and it's, you know, a means to an end, and all that kind of stuff, and that's cool, and I'm so fine with that now that I really know the steps you're taking to step into those positions. So thank you for sharing. And just one more thing for me too, Dakota, on that. So you said there's members, vote holders, stewardship, and there's the LC. I'm getting a bit confused, and if I'm getting a bit confused, so is everybody, so some of the other people. Where is the benchmark starting? Is it starting at the the membership, and then going to a vote holders, then going into the stewardship, then into the ambassador, then into the EN government, and then into the Triple C? Is that how it's operating?
No, it's a little bit different. So one moment. All right, testing. Can you do a little audio check for me, Kelly? Can you say something?
Hey, yes, Dakota, I'm here.
All right, I just switched over devices. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, so the entire aspect of what we're doing is the Earth Nation government. So that's like it's not a level, it's what it is by my terminology and understanding of it. And the first layer, if we implement this next proposal to make a fourth group in the Earth Nation, is going to be membership. Membership leads into vote holdership. Hi, Keegan. I'm going to mute you. I've got a little bit of background sound, but glad you're here. Glad you're here also, Natural. Yeah, so membership leads into vote holdership. Some people may move from vote holdership to being a center coordinator. That's not for everyone though. That's for people specifically who like and who enjoy and who have the abilities, skills, and connections and resources to be team leaders. Most center coordinators ideally are actually operating their own organization before they join us. There may be some case instances where we work with someone in the Earth Nation vote holders who wasn't already an organizational leader and give them a team, but really it's most ideal for people that really already are that. And then they become a center coordinator by approval, either from the center coordinators or the Earth Nation vote holders. And they also, another requirement is that they are leading either an Earth Nation core project or an Earth Nation partnered project. So they're choosing to align in the alliance on an organizational level. That's what gives them the right to be a center coordinator. And then from there, at this point, with this recent proposal, the final tier beyond that would be presidency. And then that would basically be once someone was a vote holder, was a center coordinator, and had contributed more than $50,000 worth of time, energy, resources to the Earth Nation itself, they now gain the capacity of being a president. And that's kind of the core of the system.
Cool. And so what's the stewardship and the ambassador?
So an ambassador is something that it's kind of the name of a team. And ideally, everybody's an ambassador. So members are ambassadors, vote holders are ambassadors, center coordinators and presidents are ambassadors. People do not have to be an ambassador, though. It is an optional role. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Thank you for sharing that.
And then in this next coming phase, we are also all stewards. That isn't necessarily a title. It is a frame of mind. So we have this mindset of being stewards of the Earth Nation, of being stewards of our planet, of being stewards of the new world and this world together. And that's not an official thing. It's just a kind of a word to represent this mindset that we don't own it, we don't control it, we steward it, we love it, we cherish it, we raise it like it's our child. That's what it means to me.
Okay, cool.
Great. Kelly, did you have anything else to add or any other questions?
I do. So when you become a member, is that membership for free?
Yeah, so that's something I'm bouncing around, and actually feedback on this is really super welcome. I've been playing around a lot with how our membership portal works. Right now it isn't, but I just got a channel the other night after having this really amazing Arcturian channel do some cleansing with me. It's really powerful. Anyway, not to tangent, but I'm thinking now that membership is basically free if people are willing to be an ambassador and to kind of fulfill some of those ambassador aspects. What I'm wanting to do is to ask all of our members for a sliding scale monthly donation with a basic minimum of $1 a month. So it's essentially free. And if someone is like, hey, I am starving to death over here and I don't even have $1 a month to give, we'll say, okay, all right, you don't have to give the $1. But anyone who is in a place to give at least $1 a month and maybe more, there will be basically a small sliding scale monthly donation for membership at this next iteration of the membership portal.
Okay, cool.
What do you guys think about that, actually? That switch?
It's good. Some do encourage people, but not force them to do it a certain amount. I like it.
Right.
I like it as well. I would. I've been actually thinking about a membership platform for my expo business and creating that cryptocurrency that I told you, Dakota. I would really kind of love to be able to see a different, the different entry levels, so that a lot of people or are very inquisitive about what's happening in the cryptocurrency world and alternative currency world, and are wanting to get involved but don't want to lose money and blah, 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 blah. Let's not go there too much. But I really feel that if you had a membership entry level where somebody paid $49 or $99 or something, then they got to have an equality keys, 100 equality keys or whatever the case may be, to start their portfolio wallet. So it's, they could see something for the people that are wanting to come in at a lower entry, that $1 a month is, whatever it is for them. But for other people that are wanting to be a part of a global movement that's doing absolutely amazing things and buy in at a membership level where they're going to get value back in a crypto in a cryptocurrency that man, I really feel I don't know that there's anybody that's doing that at all.
Cool.
In that
Yeah.
giving back space.
Oh, yes, that's definitely worth talking about, adding like another tier in this process between like really basic membership and between that and vault holdership. And I will give that more time and energy, and I'll feel into, meditate and channel about that, see what comes through. I also welcome more input from anyone else in this meeting and any of our vote holders in general. But I really think you're onto something there, Kelly. Yeah, having these just marginal steps through the process of giving and receiving, basically. It's kind of the name of the game, the new paradigm. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. I wanted to open it up a little bit. Keegan, Natural, is there anything you'd like to share? Any questions you may have about some of the upcoming proposals and threads that we've got going on?
I'd like to just personally I'd love the sliding scale dollar to whatever, flow. That feels good, just opening it up to all of the tribe, and it feels very inclusive. And then when it came to the I don't know if you read my comment. I just wanted to assure that it was heard. But the notion of basically what's the conflict resolution agreements and so forth?
Yes, I did see your comment, Natural. Please elaborate on that.
Yes. So as I remember during the mastermind, I made the notion that it would be a great idea to create agreements that the EN and everybody within it basically agrees to, but we never really got to that point.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So basically, in those agreements, things like what you have in your conflict resolution agreements could be in there. You get what I'm saying? But most of the time, you since we're all in accountability to those agreements, and we all created those agreements together, and we all, if somebody says an agreement doesn't resonate, we get to talk it over. We get similar type of like what we do in the mastermind, right? But no agreements have really been set, similar to like, you've been to Hummingbird Ranch, and they're similar to like we had at the Satya Temple. You know what I mean? Like we all are in agreement field to hold a safe container, knowing that everybody is in alignment. One of those agreements being if there's a problem, you go right to the person. You know what I mean? So like it's all in that process of creating communal agreements. And if you ask me, this is a community of like-minded individuals that just so happen to be world change makers of the planet. So it only makes sense, you know what I mean? So it only makes sense to have those agreements within this field as well. But to have one person make those agreements, it doesn't really work like that. You know what I mean? So I would just suggest that we schedule time to, as a whole group, to be able to come up with these various communal agreements that some of the then we also have a whole process if somebody is out of alignment or out of integrity or out of accountability with those agreements. Then that's when you create a whole process, not just for conflict, but for accountability for one end that isn't holding themselves accountable to those agreements, if that makes any sense. Am I clear?
Oh, that made total sense to me, Natural. I very much...
Dakota,
go ahead.
Sorry about that. Natural, that sounded absolutely amazing. I'm going to have to go. I'm just running a little bit late for my next appointment. Thank you so much for scheduling this appointment. Thank you, John, for creating the Zoom link, and Keegan and Natural for participating and being here. And yeah, I love everything that everyone's doing. So thank you very much.
Much love to you, Kelly. Till next time.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay, bye for now.
Yeah, so that was just one of the things that I thought I'd bring into the field.
Could I respond to that, Natural?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I really resonate with that. I very much want every vault holder's feedback, their wisdom, each individual intelligence. Yes, I'm all about that. Now, there is a mild obstacle to obtaining that collective feedback. For instance, for this meeting, we did a doodle poll. People had 4 or 5 days to respond to the poll. Only 6 people used the poll, and then only 6 people showed up to the call. And at times, we have up to maybe 15 people show up, really depending on where people are at, what they're doing in their lives. But because we have now nearly 50 vault holders who live literally all over the world, North, Central, South America, Hawaiian Islands, Europe, Africa, parts of Asia, parts of Indonesia, we are literally straddling every time zone known to humankind on planet Earth. And so it becomes quite difficult for us to all gather together in this space at one time. And so what I'm thinking is kind of a compromise is we can have a meeting specifically for agreements. And for those that are really attracted to the idea of helping us forge our agreements, we can have another video call. And then also people can add feedback through the thread, and people can also suggest new agreements via the proposal system. This meeting is about to close, but I'm going to pop up another meeting and put that into the chat. So let's pick up that conversation in one moment, Natural. I'll see you in the next room.